Hello everyone, welcome to another lesson in my 2015. Today we're going to take a look at the Trax editor, and in my class we're dealing with motion capture, and the data is really heavy, and there could be a lot that goes wrong in the Trax editor if things aren't done correctly and you guys don't have a real fundamental understanding on how the Trax editor works. So we're going to take a very simplex approach at using the Trax editor to begin with, and that will help once we get into using character rigs. If something goes wrong, you guys will have a much more uh, under the hood understanding of what's going on if something isn't working correctly. So we're going to start out with something very simple, like a box. So we're going to go ahead and create ourselves a polygon primitive cube really quick. Okay, and we're going to scale that up. And we need a joint, just one. So we'll go ahead and go to skeleton, joint tool, and just put one joint in the middle there. Okay. Now I need this box to be skinned to that one joint, so I'll select the box, shift select that joint, go to skin and smooth bind. Now wherever that joint goes, so does our box. Perfect. Okay, so now we can go ahead and create some very simple animations here. So on frame 1 I will hit S, and on frame 20 I will translate this forward. I have auto keyframe on, so it just dropped another keyframe in there for me. On frame 30, I will, well, I want to go back to frame 1, middle mouse button, frame 30, and hit S. That way I have it right back at the start point. And from 30 to 50, I'm going to have it just go up and do a spin. Sure, that looks okay. And then on frame 30 or 70, I'll have it come back down. So I'm on frame 30, middle mouse button to frame 70, hit S, so then it'll go up, spin, and come right back down. Okay, so now we have two very simple animations. I don't really care if you guys are trying this at home. If your animations are different than mine, it'll still work the same. The idea is just that we have two different animations to cut apart. So let's go into the actual track. Oh, I'm sorry. Almost skipped a step. We need to actually create a character set for the Trax editor. So we're going to have our joint here selected, and that's what's animated. So we'll go to character, create character set, and I've already been messing around, so I already put box inside the name. So put whatever you want inside the name. Have all keyable is what's the attributes that are being selected, and then just hit apply. And then our joint attributes will alter in yellow. Close this down. We're going to look inside of our outliner, and there's a little thumbnail with a little humanoid looking character in it, and there's our box name, and there's all our attributes for our single joint we have attached inside of our character set. Okay, so select our character set. I'm going to go and I need a split view here, so I'm going to click this icon here at the graph editor and the perspective view. So there's that perspective view. I'm going to go to panel over in the graph editor, go to panel, and UV texture editor. I'm sorry, not UV texture editor, Trax editor. Sorry. And I'm going to click on this little icon here. It says load selected character, and that will bring in the box. Okay, so I'm going to click my joint here, and I want from frame 1 to frame 20 to be a slide. So frame 1, I'm going to hold down shift, left mouse button drag over to frame 20, and then I'm going to go to create animation clip, and I'll open the sub menu for that, and I'll call this one slide. And I already have written slide in this one just because I've already been playing around with this. I still have time range as what's selected because I have a highlighted section here in the time range that I want. Right now I'm going to have it on absolute. Well, it's on absolute right now, but I'm going to show you how we're going to change it after the fact if we don't want absolute. So let's go and say absolute for now and hit apply. Okay. Excuse me. Alright, so now we have our first clip here, and if you scroll back and forth you can see that yes indeed this clip does go, but after that our other animation is gone. It stops right after the clip is done. That's because it hides all the keyframes down below until you want to reactivate them to make new clips. That way your animation data doesn't get in the way of your non-linear type of animation we're going to be doing in the Trax editor. Okay, so let's take a look here. What we got going on. So this time slider here, on the top, you'll see there's four different numbers here. There's 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom, and then 21 on the top and 21 on the bottom. And what that's telling you is that the top two numbers, frame 1 or on 1 to 21, is saying that this was sampled from 1 to 21. And then the bottom two is 1 to 21, is telling you where it's positioned. So if I grab this and move it over here, you'll see that it's now 21 to 41, but still sampled from 1 to 21. So I can move this around and have this clip play wherever I want it to, and it'll still play just fine. Turn that back on. There we go. If it gets grayed out or darkened, make sure you just click this guy right here, and that'll turn your clip back on. If it looks like that, just go ahead and click that. There you go. Bring it on back. Okay. All right. So let's bring our keys back here. Let's bring this back to frame 1, so it's not in the way of our keys when we bring them back. There we go. Now we're going to go to Modify, Activate, Deactivate Keys, and that'll bring our keys back. Perfect. And from frame 30 to 70 is where our upspin is. So I'm going to select those guys, go up to frame 70, and I'm going to go to Create Animation Clip. I'll call this one Upspin, Create Clip. Alright, so there we go. We got this upspin, and we have this little slider here. Perfect. So now we got two different animation clips. Great. Now we have two different animation clips. You can bring those clips back in and have more than these two clips in. For instance, let's say that I want to move this over here and bring in the slide, bring another slide in, so I can continue this like a walk cycle. I can go to Library, Insert Clip, Slide Source. Okay, so there we go. And let's turn this layer on. Okay, so now, here's our initial slide. And when it gets over here, here's a slide again, but it does jump back to the beginning. Now to fix that, that's a root issue because it wants to go where the clip started at. So what we got to do is we're going to select this particular clip here, and we want to change it to relative. Well, if we had a big character set, we might go relative roots only, or we can do all relative. This depends on your character set, or if you have something simple like this. Let's try relative roots only for right now. So now when I go through, okay, it keeps going forward. It does have a little bit of a stutter there, and the reason why it's doing that is because this isn't perfectly matched up. If it was, it would go up, and it would have a little bit of a slight stutter going on there. You can fix that by doing a little bit of a blend. And the blends is all you do is just select. Just want to create another clip here. Ghost that. We'll select this clip here, select this clip here, and we want to maybe create a blend by Create Blend. Okay, so it creates this little arrow that will blend between the two. Now I can move this back and overlap it, and it'll average it out, and now we have a much more seamless walk forward or slide forward. Perfect. Okay. Another thing we can do is we can lengthen this out or scale this out, so we can go ahead and grab this this bottom number here, and we'll get arrows going left and right. So I can just grab this one here and pull it back, and that will make it to where my slide it goes the same distance, but it takes longer to get there, so it kind of slows down the animation. Or you can go the other way and speed it up, and make it to where it's shorter. That way when it gets over here, it actually picks up the pace. So those are a couple different options for you. So now that we have, just want to drop in extra layers. Okay. All right. So one thing you're also going to want to do is you're going to be able to get. So if you have like different scenes going on, and or you have, for what my class is doing, different motion capture shots done, you're going to want to be able to get these clips out and then back in again. So sometimes this is a little bit problematic. This is usually where the problems will arise, is if it's not the same as the source that you're trying to project it on, Maya will not like that. So, but presuming that everything is the same and everything is going to work just fine, is all you do is you just select the clip that you want, which is slide, and you go to File, Export Animation Clip, and we're going to call this one Slide 101 Clip, Slide 101. Okay. Save that. Ask me to save it. Say, okay, that's fine. And then I can go to this one as well, and I can go File, Export Animation Clip, and I can call this one Clip underscore Upspin 101, and save. Continue again. Now I can just anytime I have a different setup going on, I could just go to Import Animation Clip, and my clips will be there. This is a whole little library that I've been kind of building. You can just import these guys and reproject them onto the clip we currently have. Some of these other ones, some of them don't have joints as the roots, so I'm not going to be able to import some of these guys. But I can always go through and import these 101s again. So I go and import slide and open. And then if you look inside the library, it'll say slide source 1 since it's been imported. And that one will just reproject on there. So then we can just import that. And now I have a slide source 1 over here. Or this one right here is the one we just did. So there we go. That's all there really is to it. This is a very simple rundown of how you can create these guys. And let's make sure they're not all ghosted out like they currently are. And you can just go through and, it'll run through all these as you pull them in. You can arrange them in any fashion you want. So that's a very simple look at the Trax editor and the ins and outs of it and how it works. The next lesson we'll actually use a character rig, and we'll do the same thing essentially. It's going to have a lot more going on than just a simple one joint system. We'll have a full-on character rig coming in, but it'll essentially be the same breakdown. Just this way, if something goes wrong, we'll be able to identify where the issues are because we have a much more in-depth understanding on how, or much more fundamental understanding on how the Trax editor works. Okay, so I'm going to end the lesson here, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Thanks for watching.